only doing it I'm talking about a fraction of a degree. It's not noticeable from year to year. It's only noticeable from the first year to the fourth year. And it actually corresponds only doing it I'm talking about a fraction of a degree. It's not noticeable from year to year. It's only noticeable from the first year to the fourth year. And it actually corresponds with what they refer to as the extra accumulated time of the year. So you know how the sidereal year we have 365 days in a quarter,
Wait,
right?
can I ask a question about that? Can I ask a question to clarify why? So, are you saying that the sidereal year and the solar year match up after 5 years? There's some sort of reset to where they get back in sync.
It's insane, bro. The sun literally
am I correct?
calibrates itself. It literally adjusts itself.
Steelman? Is that what you're trying to communicate?
Yeah, but there is a problem because I cannot.
Wait, motherfucker! I'm trying to clarify something real quick.
Sorry.
Is that? Yeah, I'm sorry for getting heated, but are you saying every 4 years the sidereal year and the solar year should be diverging from each other, but in fact they actually just reset? Is that accurate? Is that an accurate Steelman?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I yield the floor.
So it's been a mystery why the Enoch describes the years in 364 days, that we are to reckon a year by 364 days precisely, and not to add to the year, right? And yet mankind has added a day and a quarter every year, right? And then we adjust for that by our own understanding by adding a leap year every 4 years. And there's all kinds of stuff, bro, with the calendar. The Gregorian calendar is the best that we have at the moment, right? Because that's the best that they could think of to rationalize time. But there's a reason why Enoch said keep the years 364 days and keep it like that no matter what, because you don't need to calibrate, you don't need to intercalate, because apparently the sun does all the work for you. Because there seems to be like this expansion and contraction of the toroidal field that you can actually witness this with the sun. Right, the sun is evident that the toroidal field actually expands and contracts. Walter Russell describes it as the inhalation and exhalation of the cosmic pendulum, is what he calls it. And if you understand time, the first person to try to invent a clock was Galileo, because he and it's funny because Tactical French Cat was just looking at Jupiter and the moons. Well, Galileo tried using Jupiter's moons as a clock, right? And then eventually they came up with the pendulum. The first clocks had these pendulums in it that swayed back and forth, because they try to keep time. It gets complicated. Time is insane, bro. Time is insane. But I don't want to get into the minutia and the weeds, bro, because I'm not prepared to really elaborate on this. I don't have all my notes ready and all this. But I'm just giving you a quick summary. That what I've observed, I couldn't explain until I read Walter Russell's work. And he talks here. I posted a little bit of it. I just posted it earlier. I'll post it again. Oh, give me a second, bro. My phone just died.
Yeah, bro. There is a problem with me mapping the sun on the Glissant map. Is where I get my data.
Right here. And this actually coincides perfectly with the Zadok calendar and the way that Enoch described the reckoning of time, bro. And Walter Russell, he does not know anything about Enoch. As far as I know, he does not know anything about the Zadok calendar, because the things that he wrote was before they discovered the Zadok calendar with the Dead Sea Scrolls. But you see how it goes back 4 and forward 4? The sun does that same exact thing from the equator. But so there's 7 days, literally. There's 7 days in between. It's not. I won't be able to convey my ideas unless I show you. Like, I'd have to show you like walk you through this with my sundial, and like it would take a long study, bro. It would take a couple hours just to break it down. It's a lot, and I don't even know how to explain it to you guys. You need to start looking into the Zadok calendar, bro. But the fact that the sun has this oscillation, I couldn't really understand how that was possible. I couldn't wrap my head around it until I found this, and it all clicked this week. The inhalation and exhalation of the cosmic pendulum, the contraction and expansion of the magnetic field. You can see it with the sun, but it's very minute. It's not something that you can like. Here, I'll show you with my sundial, because I can show you with my sundial.
Yeah, you need to have something anchored in the ground
Yeah,
to
give me
be
1 second.
sure.
I'm gonna show you with my sundial. What I've recorded already. I got data.
What you are saying, it's insane, bro. Because
This guy's got
I
data.
don't know. I need to do the mathematical computation from that to map this on the map. But I mean, I don't even know if there is some website that maps the sun correctly without taking some assumption and so on. So it's really hard to tell. I know some websites are pretty close to reality, but you are telling about some half a degree. It's something that is negligible in
So
terms of
this was
theory.
March 17th, 2021, around solar noon, right? And so when you go back to 2016, the beginning of this cycle, from 2016, 364 days later, to 2017, 364 days later, to 2018, to 2019, to 2020, to 2021, the sun from 2021 to 2022, you see the shift. You see this oscillation where the sun literally, it looks like it skips a beat, but it doesn't actually. It just in latitude it shifts a little bit. That's all it does. It's the expansion and contraction of the magnetic field, and you can observe it with the sundial. Now you won't be able to do it any other way that I know of, because even the way that they reckon the sidereal year is flawed, because they use the backdrop of the stars and they use telescopes and they try to. I don't even know how they. I honestly don't know how they do it, because it's prone to so many errors. I really don't know how they do it.
Well, wouldn't you just need a post or some type of pillar, and then that pillar is on the ground and the ground isn't moving, and essentially you just in comparison of that pillar's position to how the background of the stars are positioned, isn't that all you need essentially?
I gotta charge my phone. So 7 months later, the sun will return to the same exact spot it was at the spring equinox. So at the autumnal equinox, at the fall equinox, the sun literally returns. It makes its progress back from the Tropic of Cancer. So on its way back from the Tropic of Cancer, it then has to go back to where it came from. So it literally crosses back to where it came from. And I'll show you this right now. Give me a second. And this is known as Yom Teruah, literally the halfway mark of the year. So this is Yom Teruah. This is 7 months later. Now, and then after that, right? So then after it reaches the Tropic of Capricorn, it then returns back for the following year to the spring equinox. And consistently, right, from year to year, it matches perfectly. 364, 364, 364, 364. But then all of a sudden, there's like this anomaly where for like 3 or 4 years straight, the sun's been doing the same thing. But then all of a sudden, exactly as the Zadoks recorded in their calendrical scrolls, there seems to be an oscillation that takes place where the sun will literally, it will go back to where it was 4 years prior. It's this
So there is
expansion
a
and
leap
contraction.
year. There's a leap year in a sense, like literally, essentially.
It, so basically, you know, the accrued days that you get, the extra quarter, a day and a quarter days,
Yeah, all of
those
that, it
days are
goes
accounted for.
backwards.
Those days
Yeah,
are
it goes
accounted for
backwards.
by
Yeah,
the
okay.
oscillation. It's the best way I can describe it. But so I'm gonna try to show you what I'm talking about here. Give me a second. I gotta find these slides. So you'll notice that this year, September 21st, 2022. Oh no, this is 2022. So this is 2022. Same month, the year later, right? I'm gonna show you the difference. You'll notice there's a week difference here, but yet the shadow is in the same exact spot it was the year prior, but a week earlier in the Gregorian calendar, bro. Well, here people keep posting stuff, so I can't really show you, but I'll post it again.
Yeah, isn't that? Try posting it in the chat for this VC
No, sorry.
instead.
I'm just gonna post it again, bro. So so you can compare. All right, delete this one. So this is what I'm saying, bro. Now, there is like a 40-minute discrepancy here, right? But if you study the shadow at solar noon, bro, 40 minutes ain't that big of a deal. It's not gonna make it shift that much. You think it would, but it really doesn't. But I've done it more accurately. Like this year, hold on, let me show you. So this year, I'm tour this year. I'll show you this year too, bro. Hold on, give me a second.
So is there intercalary days you have to add after like after those 4 years or something, or what?
No, you just shift the week because the way the equinox works. Once the equinox, because the way that so you'll see the equinox land on the because the perpetual week, the weekdays don't shift. It's a perpetual weekly cycle. The equinox does shift during the week, so you'll have an equinox on the fourth day of the week on a Wednesday. Then the following year, the equinox will be on a Thursday. Then the following year, the equinox will be on a Friday. And then there's like a leap day every 4 years that they literally add to the Gregorian calendar. So it'll jump a day, it'll skip a day. And then you'll have an equinox on a Sunday. And then the following week or the following year, the equinox will be on a Monday. And then on a Tuesday, and then back to a Wednesday. When it gets to the following week, that's how you know during a Shemitah cycle that you have to skip a week. Because then the way this calendar, it's kind of complicated, but it's not. Once you understand it, you'll understand that the oscillation that the sun does corresponds with the intercalation of the Hebrews. So you intercalate when the sun oscillates.
Did they observe that as like a Sabbath for a week or something?
Yeah, there's evidence in First Chronicles when the priestly for 7 days they rested, and it corresponds with the intercalation week, and at the same time that the sun oscillates.
That's right. I've even heard kings declare that as well, right?
Yeah. Yep. So this is 2023 Yom Teruah, but you notice how it's September 20th, right? And then if you look at the other years, September 21st, all the way to September 15th, bro. Right? So September 15th, you had the shadow in the same exact spot, right? And then look at it's a week. There's a week discrepancy here, bro. So you have from September 15th all the way to September 21st, bro, where the sun is in the same exact spot. But I've literally seen the shadow shift from one Wednesday to the next. So you would you would have assumed that here, for example, this is hard to explain, bro. That's why I can't. I had to show you, bro, because it's just gonna go in one ear out the other.
Yeah, it is hard to. I'm trying to get to a point of understanding where I know what you're saying. I am having a hard time following. So
So there's a guy. Actually, he's doing a presentation today in 30 minutes. It'll be perfect, bro. I didn't even mean this, bro. This
when
is
is
dude.
when
This
is
is
that at?
dude.
Well,
Right now,
where
and
can
it's
I?
funny because I
No,
had
where
this
do I
breakthrough
go? Where do I
yesterday, bro.
go?
Here,
Where do I
I'll
go
post it
for
in the
that 30-minute? Yeah, I
This
want
is
to
a
see
homie.
that 30-minute
This is one of my
presentation.
friends, bro. Alan Pizarnik. He's going on, and he's gonna describe this intercalation phenomenon that I'm referring to here. It's not
Is this a
actually.
YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's on
cool.
YouTube.
Thank you for that.
But I just told him about what I just discovered yesterday. I literally just he's about to go on in 30 minutes. He doesn't even know any of this. But it's literally the expansion and contraction of the toroidal field, bro. Because what happens is the sun, when it returns back to the beginning of the year, it's actually shifted over just a fraction of a degree over. But by the time it does it 4 years in a row, there's a compounding effect. So it's not actually going in the same exact track it was a year prior. That track has now shifted over just a fraction of a degree in latitude. But by the time you get to the 4th year, you have it's a pretty significant shift. And then in 1 year, it literally adjusts itself 4 years. And it just happens to coincide with the Shemitahs, bro. Pretty insane.
Bro, that is insane. So the toroidal field is essentially like breathing in and out on a 4-year
Yes.
cycle.
Yes.
Is there? So you've given me the presentation that's going to come on soon. I'm going to watch that. Is there any other? Like, how do I get from my place of knowledge to your place of knowledge with cutting essentially all the corners that are unnecessary, all the pitfalls that you made? How do I cut those corners and get to where you're at a little faster?
I mean, it took me 2 years of manically studying the ancient, the Dead Sea Scrolls, Jubilees, Enoch, plus Rachel Elior's work. She's a professor at the University of Tel Aviv. She breaks down the Zadoks, who they were, where they came from, the Second Temple priests. But if you want, I can
said you
send you some
referred to a
PDFs to get
woman?
started.
Did you refer to a woman? What was her name?
Yeah, Rachel Elior, Elior.
How do you? Wait, do you know how to spell it? Rachel. How do you spell that last name?
Oh, I got you, bro.
Yeah, if you could send me like in the DM, uh, those PDFs, maybe that girl's name, I would much appreciate it. I would like to look into what you're talking about.
Ryan, you've talked with Ken about this, you're saying?
No, not Ken. Alan.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I just sent them some stuff today on Facebook. And yeah, I mean, I know the stuff that I've discovered. They're gonna bite me, and they're probably gonna take it. But it's all good, man. I give y'all, you know what I mean? Yeah, I wanted to keep it to myself. Actually, like selfishly today, I didn't want to tell nobody about it. But then, in my ruach, I was convicted. I'm like, you know what? Just let it out there. Give it to the people. If they take credit for it, so be it. You know what I'm saying?
They can't take credit for the creator's work. He already
Exactly.
made it that way.
He
You're
showed
just
me it.
revealing it. Yep.
People who have credit usually are the ones who take it, though. It's a funny way to put it.
Someone has DM me some things like you will get famous for your work. Like I have something to care about that. I'm exactly with you guys. We don't care. Truth is truth, you know.
I just didn't understand how the sun could do that. It just didn't make any sense to me. And so I realized that the field itself is actually expanding and contracting. It's breathing.
Well, that's very similar to what a lot of different cultures say, actually. I know, and that's interesting.
And there's no better way to keep time than the sun. Not the moon for months and days, but the sun's supposed to be for months and days, and for seasons and for Sabbaths. Not the stars, because right now, the way that Greenwich time reckons time is the backdrop of the stars, bro.
But did you notice that moon dials work too? Isn't that wild? How could they make all those claims of distances and the way light comes in for the sundial to work, and then a moon dial works?
Yeah, man. So yeah, this all started with Lebet getting on here, bro. But Lebet, if you could please somehow get the data for the circuit of the sun and make it
Yeah,
go
bro,
clockwise.
you just blown my mind. Listen, I am willing to do that, but it may be really hard because there is a lot of things to take in account. You know, I mean, I need to do both models, the official model, quote unquote, with official data and so on, and try to. I mean, it's a lot of information you throw up. Yeah, so it's mind blowing, bro. Yeah, it's interesting. So I will take a look. But I'm sorry if it's not soon because I have a lot of stuff to do. So, but it's definitely in my to-do list.
So if you look at that image from Walter Russell, it's actually 7. Even though if you count 4 backward and 4 forward, that's not how it works. You actually count the middle one doesn't count because that's literally the equinox. That's the very center, and that very center point marks the beginning of a jubilee. And then like you'll notice that, for example, you start the Shemitah on this mark right here. The following year, the sun will shift just a little bit south, a fraction of a degree, right? Literally like 0.2 of a degree latitude. And
Can
then
you? Sorry, Lion. You cannot share the peak and show where you.
yeah, here I'll share it again.
No. I mean, you cannot share the screen and show us
No, I
with
can't. I don't have that.
because it's hard to follow where you point. I mean.
I don't have that power right now.
Oh,
Somebody
okay.
would have to give me that.
Yeah, okay. Because I am on the peak. I am with you. The center. You can see my mouse on the screen.
Yeah.
So when you speak about the center, you speak about that.
Yes.
Okay.
And
When you
that
speak about swift drifting, you speak on the left or on the
yes,
right?
left and right. Left and right.
Yeah. Okay. Got you.
So let's say at the beginning of a 49-year cycle, or at the beginning of a 7-year cycle, right? You start off right at 0, right?
Yeah.
Let's just pretend right now We start off at 0, right? The following year, when the sun returns to that same exact spot on the equinox, it won't actually be perfectly centered in the middle. It won't be. It'll be over. No, not that much. Not that much.
So
Just
just a
yeah,
little,
just a
like
little tiny bit. Barely noticeable, right? And then the following year after that, it'll shift over just a little bit more. And then the following year after that, it'll shift over just a little bit more. And the following year, it'll shift over a little bit more. And that's the most it'll ever shift is like 4 days, right? Or on the Gregorian calendar, 4 days on the Gregorian calendar. And then it'll literally just move right back to that center point after 4 years. Boom, right back. And it does it over and over and over and over again.
This part blown my mind, bro. It just blow, like it switched, like said Prof Noah just before. It's like a reset, in fact.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Like a
So,
typewriter.
I don't know if the official data will be showing that. If it, I cannot even know how to verify that, in a scientific way. We need to have a sundial. Sundial is what you call the cadran solaire, the sundial. I mean, it need to be fixed in the ground to be sure to not move. We need, because it's how you can check that and be sure you are not fooled by an error and so on. Does it make sense, my question?
Yeah, so it's interesting because Enoch says that the earliest that the year can begin is on the equilux, according to Jerusalem time, right? And the equilux, according to Jerusalem time, is March 16th. And the sun literally follows the specific pattern that was, that was given to us by the priests. And the equilux happens in Jerusalem March 16th, and the year will never begin on that year, right? The earliest that the year will begin is March 17th on the Gregorian calendar. And March 17th, so when the equinox is March 17th, you already know that it's about to be intercalation and that the sun's about to do an oscillation. You literally see it. So this happened in 2021, where March 17th was the Abib, and then the following year, that same shadow, you would expect it because of the way that the Gregorian calendar works. You would expect it to be March 16th, but it wasn't March 16th. It ended up intercalating that year. You'll see the shift. You'll see the oscillation from March 17th to March 23rd.
Yeah.
Where
I got you. Yeah, it's okay. I don't even know how to plot this type of data. How to find. Yeah, okay. It will be interesting to search. Okay. It's mind blowing.
I'm not the only one that's observed. Like many people have observed this. Many people. That's why we're noticing oscillations with the sun, things that the sun, and it does not. You can't explain it with the heliocentric model. And I think they just ignore it, or they talk about the Milankovitch cycles and the analemma and the eccentricity of the sun, how it seems to be. There's anomalies when it's at the southern hemisphere. They just kind of explain it away with math.
I mean, even
right?
the Anamela is not. There is one. There is two. How to tell? I lost my word. Symmetry. Sorry. There is two symmetries that is not respected with the Anamela, and it literally destroys the globe because okay, we can get the little circle on the top and the huge circle on the bottom, but every point, every screen, every position, GP of the sun is different from the left and the right of the Anamela. And it's literally a proof of the famous sinusoid things you are describing, you know. So it is this oscillation. I mean, it shows also an oscillation even in the year. So even in the year. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Huh, maybe I get you lost a little bit. Okay. I mean, I got you on this one. I don't know how to find this to be precise and so on, but it will be interesting to do.
So for example, 2021, and mind you, this is the same exact spot, right? I'm not moving. I'm not traveling.
Yeah.
This is from where I live, right? I live in Massachusetts / Connecticut. My parents live in Connecticut. When I test my sundial, I test it at solar noon, right? At the equinoxes and the solstices, right? And there's a specific pattern, like Yom Teruah, according to the Zedar calendar, was September 15th, 2021, right? So, and it matches up with my sundial. So my sundial corroborates the calculations that were done in advance. So that little marker that you see, the shadow, I just posted it at 12:46 p.m. This is day 1, month 7 on the Hebrew calendar, the ancient Hebrew calendar. You see that the shadow, there's a little marker there. Those little markers hug the gnomon, the tip of the gnomon,
Yep.
and then designates a specific time point of the year. Right, this is the halfway mark of the year. And then the following year, 2022, you'll notice that the same marker is a week later, bro. It's literally a week later, bro. Oh man, let me see. Anyways, I'm about to watch this
the
guy.
precession of the equinoxes in a sense, Lion. But the problem is when it comes to flat Earth, what is actually the source of the skylights? Is there potential that there's a singular earthbound source? When we consider this, then the greatest thing we have to consider is the dimensionality and the extent of the enclosing barrier surround. That's all. That's all. Place the sun. What is the sun, Lion? Please tell me, what is the sun? The best of your ability to represent. What is the sun?
The sun is the light of the day.
Luminary.
Yeah, it's the luminary to rule over the day.
That's not saying anything. That's not
Yeah,
saying
I don't
anything.
know what it is.
That sentence did have meaning, and I'm sure other people understood it. Did you not understand what I meant when I said that?
But the day is defined by the passage of the luminary, which makes the day. So it's a circle.
Day is defined by the light. If you went outside and the sky was bright and it was warm, but there was no sun, you would still say it's daytime.
Right, but it's only in recognition or gauging of the passage of the luminary, which gives us the date. Oh.
Well, the day and night time. That's what time is based off of, day and night. So
the ball earther has something specific to say about the sun. What does the flat earther have to say about the sun? That's what I was asking Leon.
No, I don't know what the sun is, bro. I just know that it's a luminary, bro. I don't know what it's made out of. I don't know what kind of gases it has. I have no idea, bro. I don't know if it's nuclear fusion. No idea.
Is its source above us or below us? Is it possible? Have you considered both?
Hold on 1 second. So I'm gonna show you, because this is already calculated in advance. So I'm gonna post this calendar, show you what I'm talking about. So this is 2021. Abib 1 was March 17th, 2021. The following year, you jump to 2022. Look at what it says. And my sundial corroborated this calculation, bro, which is beyond me, because there was a debate of when to start the year because some of the Zadok people they don't believe in starting the year before the spring equinox, and depending on how you interpret Enoch. Is Enoch talking about the equilux or the equinox? Because they're different. The equinox is basically universal, but the equilux is dependent on geography. And
What is the equilux? Well, could you explain the difference between the equilux and the equinox, please?
So the equilux is geographically dependent. So the equal night and day is not universal throughout our realm. Clearly, right? You have 24-hour sun in Alaska.
That
right?
adds to my point that I made earlier. That the daytime. Go ahead, but that adds directly to my point that I just made earlier.
So this calendar only works with Jerusalem time. And it's interesting. Don't ask me why, but it only works with Jerusalem time. And Enoch had calculated this, and Jerusalem didn't even exist, right?
But Salem existed, right? There was a city there before Jerusalem was there.
I guess this was predetermined. But what I'm showing you here, though, you see how it literally skips a whole week, bro, from March 17th to March 23rd, from 2021 to 2022. You see that? And my sundial corroborated this calculation, bro. I was in awe.
What did it do in March
I
2023?
really wish I could understand what you're talking about, because I want to share in this.
All right, let me start over. Let me start over, bro. I'm gonna delete these and I'm gonna start from scratch, right? Real quick. I'm gonna run you through this real quick as best as I can, because I can't share my screen, so I'm just gonna post. I'm gonna screenshot this. So, I'm gonna go back to 2016. Okay, let me start at 2017. All right, 2017. No, in 2016. I started 2016.
Hey, Leon, you there?
Yeah.
Just curious. Dima was wondering if you want to have a God conversation with FTFE in 15 minutes, just a friendly, and it's up to you. About God, nothing to do with flat Earth.
I would, but I'm about to watch a show. Plus, I'm kind of in the middle of something right now. But I appreciate the invite, dude. I really do.
No problem. Welcome anytime.
Yeah, bless. Thank you.
Thanks, Rugged Man. Friendly and FTFE in the same sentence? That's interesting. Shots fired.
Must be on fire.
Good luck with that. It was
Every one of those shots landed.
FTFT
That was like fucking Navy SEAL precision strike shots.
So here, where can I post this? Where people? All right, I don't want people. So I'm gonna post it in the chat.
Yeah, put it in the chat for this live stream, man.
All right, so here's 2017. Right, that's 2017.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna do 2018. This is the beginning of the year. This is just the first couple of days of the beginning of the year. It always starts on the 4th day of the week.
AM? What, after creation?
That's Anno Mundi. That's Anno Mundi, since the creation of the world. But that I don't know. I don't even know if that number is correct. I'm still looking into it to verify that calculation. But so you got 2017. You got 2018 right here. You see how it starts shifting, right? From March 22nd to March 21st.
Okay, wait, hold up. 22nd is. I see. Yes, it shifts by a day. So it goes from March 22nd being on a Wednesday. Then the next year, the Wednesday is March 21st. So it shifted by one day. Okay. Now we're 2019. It's on the 20th. Okay. This is 2019. Can I save these? Do you mind?
Yeah.
I
don't care, dude.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm going to save these real quick so I can look at them later.
So you got 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. And you start noticing how there's this is the precession of the equinox.
That it's now to 18. It skipped 2 days instead of one. It looks like.
because of the leap year. So every 4 years is a leap year because of the Gregorian calendar. They add a leap day. They do. Man does.
Okay, so so this is these months are the same length, or how long are these months in this system? A few.
They're 30-day months, and there's an
So each
intercalary day every 3 months.
okay, so it's
Enoch
the
describes this.
is the inticular day within the last month, or is its own
It's it's
thing?
it's its own day. It's set apart. It's not
Understood.
supposed to.
Okay,
Yeah.
understood. Yeah, it's
It's
not part of
difficult to
any of the other.
explain, bro.
Yeah. No.
We'll get into
I'm
it.
understanding what you're saying, and
All right.
that's why I'm being very slow and asking very specific questions. But I'm what you're putting down now. I'm kind of getting you here. So
All right.
I'm
So
up here at 2020. That's the leap year where it skips 2 days instead of one.
and
I'm
then
following.
Sorry, guys. Lion, you're actually dropping that into the VC chat. You're not putting
yeah.
that in the live stream chat.
No, the VC chat,
So,
so people aren't typing all over it and having a debate in the middle of what we're trying to look
okay,
at.
sorry.
You
Sorry,
see
I thought you wanted it so that
2017,
people watching the live stream could see it. Sorry.
2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. Mind you, 2017 was an right. 2016, at the end of 2016, there was an intercalary week. That's why you started off March 22nd, right?
That's what I was wondering. You add that week before the equinox? What you're saying, or it just the sun does it itself? I guess is what you're saying.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you right now. So 2020. So we see it March 22nd, March 21st, March 20th was the equinox on the 4th day of the week, just like Enoch describes. And the sun literally rose in the east, set in the west, and the moon rose in the east, set in the west, and the moon literally trailed the sun perfectly in the same degree in latitude, bro. Anyways, and then you get 2020, March 18th, 2021, March 17th. My sundial was accurate this year, right? And I'll post it again just for this. So this is Yom Teruah 2021. Try to find it. No, Abib right here. Now, okay, hold on. This is the perfect spot for me to put this in. Give me 1 second, bro. I'm trying to help you out with this, Noah, because I know that you're passionate about the faith.
Sure, I'm looking at these things, and I think I'm coming to a better understanding of what you're trying to say by looking at these images you posted. Definitely.
So this right here is the days leading up to Abib in 2021, where there was a debate amongst the Zadok community whether we should intercalate or not, right? And I didn't know. I left it up to
by intercalate? Do you mean add another week? Add 7 days?
yeah,
Or shift the
yeah.
calendar? Okay.
Shift the calendar is more like it. That's give me 1 second, bro. Just why is this not? All right, let's chat. Okay, so I'm
What
gonna
is
post
Abib?
the first day of the year. Sorry, I'm just used to saying Abib. So this is March 14th, 2021, solar noon. You can kind of predict where the shadow is going to end up because you can see the incremental change every day at solar noon, which I observed. And, you know, half the community was divided on when to intercalate or when not to intercalate. By this point, most of the community had already intercalated because most of the community, they don't start the year prior to March 20th because of some philosophical reasons, not because of anything empirical, not because of the sundial, because they don't use sundials. They just kind of basing their interpretation of Enoch. And I didn't know who to side with. I ended up siding with some of the few called out assemblies. One is in Florida. They're called Yadi Ministries. Ben Sholiak is the leader there. And he witnessed certain things with the luminaries that made him and his wife also reckon the moon. and they understood. Anyways, here I don't want to get into the minutia of it because we're gonna get lost. So let me just stick to this for a second.
Well, were they flat earthers, Lion? Those people you were talking about, were they flat earth?
Yes, it's the only way that this calendar will work is if you have a flat Earth paradigm in your
Excellent.
head. It's impossible to figure it out
Just
otherwise.
asking. I think so as well. Excellent. Just
So this is March 15th, leading up to Abib, bro. Solar noon. I'm measuring it, right? And I'm like, whoa, like it's actually starting to match up with Ben Sholiak's reckoning of time. And then, okay, 1 second. One more, because I'm trying to gather these, bro.
So you're saying the sun does a shift overnight between one
Yeah.
day and the other after a 5-year cycle?
Yeah, it's not a big deal because we know that the sun's moving around
This looks
us.
like a
and
90%. This looks like a 90-degree. Wait, so you're saying on March 14th it's facing one way, and on March 15th it looks like it's 90 degrees over. Or is that just the camera's position? Is the camera pointing in the same direction and the sundial in the same direction and the sundial in the same location in all three of these photos?
So at solar noon, the shadow will naturally point due north. Always at solar noon. So I don't have to do anything. All I do is align the shadow that naturally points due north from year to year to year at solar noon. Right? I don't need a compass. I don't need none of that. The shadow will always point due north. As long as you're within Jerusalem's latitude.
How are you determining noon? Like just with a clock?
Yeah,
Like,
I use timeanddate.com.
okay,
But
got it.
but there is a way to determine solar noon with the dial. It's a little bit more complicated because you have to measure, and it does have on the outside of the sundial, it has these marks that allow you to measure solar noon.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because in the morning the shadow elongates. It's and you can mark it in the
So it's
morning
the
and mark it in the evening.
shortest point. The shortest point, or when the shadow reaches its shortest point,
Yes,
it's simultaneously pointing north.
exactly. Correct.
Okay.
So at solar noon it'll be. You get it?
So I am understanding some of the things you're putting down, man. I am slowly gathering more of an understanding. That's for sure.
So the days leading up to March 17th being the date that was pre-reckoned already, my sundial as a witness verified that reckoning of time. And I was like, wow, Abib won. So you see here, 2021, it says March 17th. Well, what would you expect the following year, 2022? Well, if we follow this pattern, right, we would expect that March 16th would be the Abib. But according to Enoch, you cannot begin the year prior to the equilux. The equilux is the equal night and day.
Right. Okay.
And guess what the sun did the following year?
It's a little too advanced.
This is what
for
blew
me
me
to start.
away, bro. This is what blew me away, bro. Right here. Look. This is what the day that was already pre-reckoned. March 23, bro, was Abib. That's a week later, dude. And the sundial verified that. No,
Dude, that's actually pretty amazing. Now that I'm wait, yeah, I think I'm understanding that. That's pretty great. Wait, but that's not a this would go directly against the globe model, wouldn't it? Like, isn't
absolutely.
this even could be a globe debunk?
Absolutely.
That doesn't make any sense. That shouldn't happen at all on a globe.
They would have to patch it again. They already have the eccentricity of the sun with the Milankovitch cycles, right? Even Kepler tried understanding Tycho Brahe's math and observations because Tycho Brahe had so much data that he spent a lifetime, bro, compiling meticulously. And Tycho Brahe strenuously, tortuously tried putting the data to fit his understanding, his worldview, right? And he wasn't able to. He had to include elliptical orbits, where Tycho Brahe had compound circles, perfect circular orbits, which is what makes the most sense efficiently.
That's the
And,
same
and
thing that Ptolemy had, right?
yeah, yep. And then Kepler, he's like, well, you know what? I can't make it work with compound circles. Let me just add elliptical orbits. And you know what? Wow, elliptical orbits. I can force it and I can make it fit. But how do we explain elliptical orbits? What would make the orbits elliptical? Well, he theorized a fictional force. No, a lot of their forces are fictional. He theorized that there was distant planetary bodies affecting the movements of the luminaries. He just theorized that there might be something out there that's gravitationally pulling on. But this is before this was all relativity and all that. He predicted that there was like extra planetary bodies out there that were affecting the luminaries and causing them to have elliptical orbits. But that doesn't match up with what Newton described with his centrifugal and centripetal forces. When you use centripetal
Yeah, well,
forces, you
Newton's
have a
system just doesn't work.
yeah, when you have a bucket of water and you're spinning it in a circle, you would expect circular motions. If you were to replicate that on Earth, right? How would you get a bucket of water if you're spinning it in a circle to become elliptical?
Well, yeah, that's the thing is yeah, the Newton's thing is just doesn't work, man. That's why it didn't end with him. Like there was just glaring holes in the way he predicts it, like the way he goes about predicting it.
So Kepler's laws only work with elliptical orbits, bro. And if you understand elliptical orbits, they're like oval shaped.
Yeah, Kepler took the conic section and applied it to the sky and saw that it matched. Or I guess the solar system would have a closer fit to the data if the conic section was essentially used. So
So this is how they were this is how they were able to explain the anomalies with the sun, according to their model, because we know they say that the sun, the reason that there's a disparity with clocks on Earth and the luminaries is because these elliptical motions. Now Milankovitch expanded on that, and it's just a mess. The whole thing's a mess, bro. But we know that the sun moves around the Earth, and that the sun actually can adjust itself from year to year latitudinally, for lack of a better word. I don't know how to explain it, bro. I'm not a physicist.
Yeah, it makes literally more sense on this way.
the fact that it shifts 7 days between 2021 and 2022 is I'm
I
I'm
know
with you
it's
on
hard to
that, man.
believe, bro.
That's a direct globe debunk. Like that's game over. There's no
Yeah,
explanation for that. That's quite defined, and also
But it's not
that's well,
adding days or anything like that. All it's doing is it's shifting in latitude just a little bit to make
yeah,
it
but
look like it's adding 7 days. But we're not actually. Time isn't like
yeah,
speeding up, slowing down.
there is
Time is consistent.
1 week shift, but the shift is not like a gradient because you are explaining it shift in one shot. Then it takes 4 years or 5 years, I don't recall, but it takes some time to shift, and it will shift back like a reset again. It's a globe destroyer.
Yeah, it's the expansion and contraction of the toroidal
Yeah, I
field.
get you. I get you on that, but I join Noah on that. It's a globe destroyer because of this resetting mechanism. You know.
And it just happens to match up with the number 7, bro. And we know that the number 7 is sacred.
God's number.
But this only works if you keep the week perpetual. Once you start messing with the week, time would be lost, literally. The perpetual week that we have today that somehow has been preserved, because even the calendrical scrolls that I go off of, 2,300 years old, show that the perpetual week that we have today is consistent with what they recorded. So these pagan days of the week match up with the luminaries and the calculation that the Zadoks. That's how we came up with this calendar. Because if it wasn't for the Dead Sea Scrolls, this calendar would have never been figured out. But there's calendrical scrolls like Mishmarat D, Mishmarat C, that they recorded the phases of the moon, the equinoxes, the solstices, the Sabbaths. So like new moon, full moon, etc. And also certain patterns like the blue moon, where you have 2 full moons in a 30-day period. That always happens. So literally in 2017, bro, in the last month of 2017, there was 2 full moons. Just like the Dead Sea Scrolls record 2 full moons on the last month. And then after that, there's an intercalation. And it still matches up. There was 2 full moons. And also the sun and the moon rose in the same gate on the 4th day of the week. It's a lot of crazy stuff, bro. I mean, it's too much to really unpack in a little bit, but I'm just trying my best.
Yeah, it's an insane find, bro.
But if you all want to observe this, you can observe it, because we're still a few years away from this happening again.
Yeah, there is a lot to comprehend to be able to understand everything. But thanks for sharing, because it's insane. I think there is the show beginning.
All right, let me go watch that.
If you think about it, right? As we come, well, actually, there's lots to say about this. Everything is inverted in a sense. The only way the ball can develop is by the collective decision to have the Earth's surface moving. They tell you different in terms of the historical tale, where Pythagoras, in his mind, developed the ball in terms of sacred geometry and perfect relationships. But here's what I was going to say: the minute we become flat earthers, we're on a stationary Earth's surface. So all of the motions now attributed to the ball to account for what was observed above now can be applied to, what can only be described, for myself anyway, is a singular earthbound source to all of the reflecting skylights, because now we're in a sort of an enclosed surround. So that's what we got to work out. That's what I think. The nature of the movement of the source itself against the boundary, and we use the information given us in terms of the motions of the Earth. Well, 3 motions in general, but then that's where Mercury comes into it, conundrum of Mercury. So all of the different relative motions have to be sort of inscribed and reapplied to, well, again, this possible singular earthbound source to all skylights. I guess you have to take it step by step. I like that representation, though. Lion, very good. Like that. Happy cycle. The snack was talking about this earlier on as well. Yeah, very good. And I will just say to everyone here, we're all fools. We understand that all of this is known already. Our interpretation of information given out, well, the one thing we know deep down is, well, we're just reading password clues that have already been established. So, yeah, I like that. Say thanks for forbearance today, putting up with PJ, and love to all. I'll talk to you next time.